Classical conditioning, overshadowing. Classical conditioning theory involves learning a new behavior via the process of association. In simple terms, two stimuli are linked together to produce a new learned response in a person or animal. There are 3 stages of classical conditioning. At each stage, the stimuli and responses are given specific scientific terms. Stage 1, before conditioning. In this stage, the unconditioned stimulus, UCS, produces an unconditioned response, UCR, in an organism. Stage 2, during conditioning. During this stage, a stimulus which produces no response, i.e. neutral, is associated with the unconditioned stimulus, at which point it now becomes known as a conditioned stimulus, CS. Stage 3, after conditioning. Now the conditioned stimulus has been associated with the unconditioned stimulus to create a new conditioned response, CR. Ivan Pavlov was a Russian physiologist whose research on the physiology of digestion led to the development of the first experimental model of learning, classical conditioning. Most of his research was gathered studying salivating dogs. Pavlov concluded that he was able to pair a neutral stimulus with an excitatory one and have the neutral stimulus eventually elicit the response that was associated with the original unlearned reflex, therefore leading to the birth of classical conditioning. Overshadowing is a process in classical conditioning. It involves 2 or more conditioned stimuli which are presented with a single unconditioned stimulus where the study is conducted. By varying aspects of the conditioned stimulus and comparing the effectiveness of their conditioning, people who conduct studies try to determine the effectiveness of said conditioning. For the study, the subject of this experiment is my cat, called Tulip. The neutral stimulus would be my hand, which is an indication of a soft rub, and a towel covering my hand, indicating rough rub. When my cat is lying down in a seemingly comfortable position, I would rub her 5 times for both variations of rubs in a 1-minute interval for 10 seconds. After rubbing my cat 5 times in a soft manner, I would analyze her reaction to my hand to determine whether she was comfortable. I would listen if she was purring, which she did after and while I was rubbing her. In addition to this, when I raised my bare hand and moved it towards her, she would purr and come closer. After rubbing my cat 5 times aggressively with a towel over my hand, she would scratch me and/or run away, implying that she does not like it. When shown the towel, she would cautiously walk away, indicating that the stimuli results in a negative response to aggressive rubs. In conclusion, Tulip preferred to be rubbed softly and would display this need for soft pets with a positive reaction when I gave her an indication that I was going to pet her softly, as opposed to running away when I showed her a towel. This is an example of overshadowing, since the positive stimulus would attract her and the negative stimulus would make her leave. So every time I show her either the towel or my hand, the cat reacts accordingly.